I can't wait for this heat to be gone. I can't cope with
Let's
it.
do it again then. Yeah, it's pretty bad, isn't it? Especially, I've just come back from Florida where we had 36 every day. They had weather warnings every day, and it was terrible. It was hard standing up in Disneyland for an hour per ride. But at least you could go into aircon when you needed to cool off, and that's the big difference, isn't it?
I have aircon, which I've been turning on when I can, but we can only have it on when the solar panels are being powered. So it means during the night, even if it's still hot, no chance. And we live in a greenhouse.
But then I do think I didn't like aircon out in Orlando. I just thought it was too cold. You either had too hot or too cold, and there was no just right. There was no Goldilocks zone anywhere in Orlando that I found.
I got a weird topic to start the podcast, to be honest. Over the last couple of months, I've been getting a lot of emails about this podcast.
Really?
They've been increasing over and over and over again. So I kind of want to just do this opening segment just to, one, when I get this email again, I can just link people directly to this and discuss what we think about doing guests, because that's what I get emailed about the most. Yeah. I get a lot of people who ask to be on the show. Now, I have no idea if it's a scam or genuine people who want to be on this show.
Okay.
Are you even interested in doing guests?
Yeah, I think it depends on who they are, but I'd love to have another opinion on. If it's just Joe Blogs, then this is rubbish. Maybe not. Maybe a few experts or people with experience would be quite cool.
That's what I get emails from, is people who are saying they're experts at certain subjects. And I'm also interested in having guests. But what I will put out there is, please don't send me emails on my personal email.
How are they getting? You need to protect yourself if they've got your personal email.
This is the stupid mistake I made years ago. When I started doing Press Red's stuff, I put it under my personal email, and I obviously never changed that and kept that going for a while. And now I'm in the process of transferring everything over. So I am thinking about setting up a personal email just for contacting me or anyone else in the Wonky team.
Good idea. Very good idea.
Yeah. I think at the moment, for these people who are emailing me, and I apologize that I haven't actually responded to many people because I've had so many, I want to just say that at the moment, I'm not looking at doing having people on the show to advertise themselves or discuss subjects, purely for the fact that I'm very busy. I've got a lot going on with the rebranding, working for other clients. I haven't really got time to read these emails at the moment, but in the future, I'd be interested in doing this. Maybe I should set up like a Google form or something to ask people to put their name down in that so I can check it in the future.
That's a good idea. Maybe you could charge people to come on the podcast.
As much as I'd love to, I can't imagine that would work out very well.
No, I don't think that would go down very well.
So in the future, I'll put out an email that is associated with this podcast. I don't know if I'll do per podcast because that's going to cost me a fortune, but we'll see how it goes. I've been looking a lot about the finance of how to set up the new Wonky branding. In fact, I've been looking into this website that I find quite interesting called ghost.org.
Okay.
Ghost.org is kind of a more malleable or customizable version of Substack, which is what we're currently using to publish our podcasts. And it's entirely not designed for podcast stuff. But the good thing is I can go in and set up a YAML file or other type of file scripts. YAML's the only one I know, to get this to work. So that might be the future we go down.
This sounds like another one of your Mac's deep dives into something he won't be using in 60 days to me. It looks cool. I'm checking it out. But Mac, are you okay?
We'll get back to that. The thing that I'm excited about it, though, is it's open source. And being someone who doesn't have a lot of money at the moment, I'd kind of like to pay for as little as possible. And the idea that I could just pay for a domain, have it under, I don't know, Cloudflare or something like that. And then we have all ownership of everything that's going on in that, including the content. It has its own analytic tools, which saves me a lot of time. And it builds in with Mastodon. So I'm happy. It does everything I want it to.
Yeah, until it doesn't. It looks cool. It looks slick. Yeah, let me know.
Yeah, just testing with it at the moment. There is a website currently up that I've just been throwing random stuff at to test it and keep going. But it's funny that you mention about a whole another thing that Mac tries and then it doesn't go well and then we go back.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember about a year ago I got you to make a Linear account, which has been our way of working ever since?
Yeah.
I've gone back to Notion again.
Okay.
After I've been testing around, and because it's now like a new launch that we have, I kind of see it as an opportunity to try and get everything properly organized again. And
Okay.
Linear was great for me. No one else used it, and it got awkward very quickly.
I opened it once.
So now we're on Notion again. And the good thing about Notion is it automatically sets up a calendar now. And
Right. Okay.
it also has their own email client, and it's just a hell of a lot easier, and I've simplified it. I've not gone Mac overcomplicated. I've kind of got what was good about the Linear setup and what's good about Notion and tried to simplify it as much as possible. Purely for the fact, again, we're not paying for that at the moment, and we cannot have too many databases going on in the first place. But that's everything wonky that's been going on as a little catch up.
Cool. All right. Well, I'll look forward to maybe not using that platform in the future.
How nice of you.
I'll try it for sure.
So have you heard about these laws that's been going around for the new age rating systems?
I have. Funnily enough, I've been away on holiday, and whilst out there, that was the big thing on the news. In the USA, the news is quite funny to hear how they report their news and the opinion that comes through on the news. And they're kind of saying, "Oh, Big Brother is coming. They're taking the internet away from the Australians and Europeans, and we're next." So I haven't really checked out the British perspective. So you need to update me.
The British perspective is kind of that didn't do anything. For the most part, it seems like people have just got around all of their systems by tricking it, using photos of other people or using VPNs to get around it.
So has it been implemented then? So there's an age rating on like live streams on TikTok, for example.
Yeah, I don't use TikTok, so I have no idea on that bit. I know that Reddit's been blocked because I've been in a call where my friends have been testing around, going to see what is blocked and what isn't. I know that Discord can block your accounts, but I don't view anything on Discord that could put underneath that category. So I haven't set that up on my account. It hasn't affected me at all.
So what is the rule? What's the new?
The rule is if it's adult content or any sort of content that kids shouldn't be seeing, that may sway their views or their growing up, their childhood, then they cannot view it. So they have to have some sort of blockage system. And it seems like most people are doing passports, driving license, or physical photo of you to try and get proof.
Okay, right. What do you think of that?
I don't like the idea of it personally for security reasons. I don't trust that these companies are going to take good care of my passport or any of my data if I give it to them. I don't think this is the way that we should be doing this. I think personally that we should be using our Web 3.0 system where we have like a wallet of our data that we can give out codes to. I don't agree with this system at all.
So temporary access every time you log in or something like that.
Yeah. I don't think this is the correct way to solve this problem, personally.
I'm very skeptical as well. I don't know if it's a problem they really want to solve because, as you said, they immediately know young people are going to find ways around it. It feels like another step into getting our information, getting our data, understanding how we're using the internet under the gaze of let's protect these kids.
My problem with it is the fact that it's attacking adults instead of kids, in my opinion. Because kids are going to find a way around it, and all it is a minor inconvenience to adults, really. So I'm not sure if the system is really working out that well.
I'd also question the ethical side of it. So whenever you're talking about censorship, because it's a censorship for the benefit of young people, and they say, okay, we're going to take away harmful content. Harmful is a subjective word. we can all agree that violence and pornography could be harmful to a 13-year-old. But then there are certain opinions that some people might not think is harmful and actually is giving people a wide range of experiences compared to the message that one particular organization or government want you to receive. And so it becomes a bit of a, not a dictatorship, but we start to all get one message where we would probably be more rounded human beings if we started to see a bigger picture.
I think that we do need regulations on the internet more than we've currently got. But
Right.
if we have different regulations per country, we're going to have this global network that we had before fragmented up even more, which we do not need at this current moment of time.
You can't have, I mean, our regulatory body, Ofcom, can only regulate what is
Yeah, I know.
essentially broadcast from England. So, you know, things that are coming into England, they can opt in, but they don't have to agree. So you'd have to have a new body that regulates the world. Now, can you imagine?
No,
We
absolutely
criticize
not.
China. America criticized China for the way their system's set up. But if the solution is to have one regulatory body for the world, well, I don't know about that one.
I will say that I like Australia's approach where they've just straight up banned kids below, I think, 12 or something like that from accessing the internet in general, which I think is a bit harsh, but I kind of agree with it. Because I would say that growing up, I had a YouTube channel. In fact, the current one I have existed when I was younger as well, and I uploaded to it. And I don't think I would have become the person I am today without having access to the internet. But at the same time, I know the damaging effects it has on me, my friends, and other people I know.
Yeah.
So by limiting it, I think that's a good thing. Personally, I wouldn't limit the access to social media entirely. I think creative social medias like Pinterest or YouTube are actually okay within reason. It's difficult because I also think that kids' YouTube should not be allowed.
Right. Okay.
I feel like lots of these things on YouTube for kids are analyzed by algorithms and not by people, so they can't be double checked all the time. And I really do think that CBBC or CBBS should be the platforms that decide, in the UK at least, what kids watch.
Yes, I can agree with that. And it's not even because of what we used to call video nasties, things that could scare kids or harm kids in that way. For me, it's because of commercial gain.
Yes.
It's because of these companies trying to get into your kid's head and establish their brand via sponsored segments and things like that. I think there's something that we have in our country we should be proud of. We have regulatory bodies, we have the BBC, we have a limitation on how many minutes per hour you can advertise on a channel. And again, having come back from America, we have a limit in this country. I think at the moment the limit is 18 minutes per hour you're allowed to show a commercial per channel. And none of our channels reach that. I'm talking about radio and television. In America, there's no limit. So out of every hour, you can watch 35 minutes of advertising sometimes.
It's insane.
That's crazy. Imagine like kids are getting that on their internet channels. Yeah, scary.
I don't like being a part of an algorithm, but I think being an adult, you have more choice of how you use the internet in any area. And kids are so malleable and young that they don't know what they're doing on the internet. They're just reaching out there.
Yeah, it's a toy, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big, fun toy that gives you what you want. And I guess when you don't know what you don't know, you know, everyone who's using the internet can discover something new. And as a young person without any experience of the world, yeah, it could be quite dangerous. But like you said, you turned out okay.
My first social media was Twitter.
Okay.
So not the best place to start with.
Yeah, the wolves are out there.
Yeah. But then at the same point, with social media, I've always used it as advertising, which I've mentioned before. So I don't know if I'm actually a good example for how the internet has affected me.
No, I think that who they're concerned about, who they claim to be concerned about, is the young person who uses it for social connection rather than for business or, you know, to promote. It's about, I need to find friends, I need to find someone to follow as a moral compass. That's what they're saying that they're trying to stop, right, or prevent. But in saying that, are they then saying we are the moral compass that you should follow?
I don't know.
Because does that mean there's a one size fits all for every citizen of this country in terms of what they should follow, believe? You know, they promote diversity. Is it only in how we look? Is it not in how we think?
I don't know. There's a matter of opinion per, I guess, parent really that determines how that should be used. I do think also the amount of content that we have online is terrible. You hear a lot of people talking about, I hate the word brain rot or attention spans being decreased.
Yeah.
I really do believe that if we went back to terrestrial TV just for kids, one, giving BBC back some money, which would be nice.
Yeah.
It could help.
It's never going to happen, though.
No.
We're never going to, the lid is off. We can't put it back in.
What we could do, like when they banned vapes here, they've done that kind of age thing where it will slowly come into effect. Like anyone born past, I don't know, what was it, 2018 or something, can't buy a vape, maybe?
Yeah.
Could we do that with internet access?
We could. Obviously, you wouldn't capture everybody, but yeah, setting a precedent and a general understanding of that is the accepted thing would help. Especially in public spaces like schools and colleges, there'd always be the odd parent that just said, well, my kid can do what they want. Here's my login.
Yeah.
But you have that with cigarettes anyway, right? And alcohol anyway. So, yeah, it's interesting.
It is an interesting subject. And I don't think that we, both me and you, fully know what the world should be revolving around. So if anyone disagrees with this, you can put in the chat somewhere. Don't know where, because it's kind of confusing at this point. We're on threads. Talking to social media.
I mean, I certainly don't. I don't have the knowledge of what is safe for everybody.
No.
And I'm just concerned that sometimes the people that we follow, I don't always agree with. And if it gets to a point that the only opinion I'm allowed to hear is one that's sanctioned by them, if I'm using certain channels, and if I don't, then I'm considered breaking the law, it gets really sticky. And we've seen that a lot of disagreement in the last 5 years as it is. There needs to be a way. I'm just not sure if this is the way. Maybe they should consult the public on it first. Would that not be an idea
That'd be amazing.
In a democracy? We're in a democracy. They keep telling us we're in this free democracy, the best place in the world. Well, let's ask the people.
Mm.
What they tend to do is say, well, the people don't understand. It's complex. It's difficult. But no, people are very smart. We all use this technology all day, every day. Consult us. Do a mass consultation. We've got the means to. And then start to make some decisions.
A thing that's been bothering me a lot recently is also, like, I've been talking to people who say that they get their news from social media, such as TikTok or Twitter.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't like that idea. Like, kind of getting away from the whole kids regulation. I think in general, I think it's terrible to get your your news from the internet specifically. If it's something smaller, like a specific subject or hobby that you're interested in, for me, it's tech. I get a lot of my news from tech, like tech news from the internet. But if it's anything that could be politically minded or something that could sway people, I do not believe that should be coming from the internet, purely for the fact that it is algorithm based again. So just like what we saw with the 2016 Brexit things, we had this whole situation where people were manipulated by adverts because we have algorithms. And that worries me. I don't like that being the future, that we can use algorithms to adjust people's perspective.
Yeah.
I'd prefer there just to be a level ground where just facts are put out, not news that isn't true in any sort of way. I just want the facts. And this is, we'll probably have to cut this bit. This is what I don't like about BBC News at the moment. They're doing they're trying their hardest to make sure that they give out the facts and only the facts. And they check all of the news. But what's worried me is it's become very opinionated. Everything has a podcast show discussing the opinions of these hosts. And again, I just want the facts. I don't know if you can tell, but I've been listening to a lot of podcasts that are actually set in the past at this point. Just things that recorded like in 2016 or something like that.
Okay.
And it's interesting to hear how much we've kind of changed over the years. I've been listening to these people discussing like how they would be terrified of if a lot of the news came from the internet and we didn't have would have this place where everyone's angry at each other and it's kind of just rage baiting to get to a certain point. And I find it very funny because we kind of got to that point now. I'm wondering if there's a possibility if we can go back from it.
No, we're there, and the reason we can't go back is because we're too deep. If you speak to most young people who are maybe not educated in media like you are, and maybe the people you surround yourself with are, that's the only news they know. They don't. My children don't wake up and read the newspaper like I used to. So what? There's no back for them. That is the only thing they've ever had. You're not going to convince them to open the Guardian and read it, or the Evening Star and read it every day. It's just not going to happen.
The ironic thing is I don't like watching BBC News either. I do read it from their app. So I'm still reading it from the internet.
But they are actual journalists who have qualifications and there are standards, and they do their due diligence, and then they report a story. But they're never first. And nor are a lot of journalists on other channels. And we are in a first society, aren't we? Like, who's got the news first? Who's got the info first? That's the one I want to see. On the flip side, like things like when Liverpool won and they had their parade this year, there was the car incident. I don't know if you saw that.
Yes, I did.
Yeah. So when that happened, I was on TikTok at the time posting loads of stuff, and it started showing on my timeline the whole incident, the car hitting, the people reacting, people in the streets. And so I'm watching BBC News, no, Sky News, watching Sky News to see when it comes up. It's not coming up. Then it comes up on the ticker incident in Liverpool. Half an hour later, they start showing reactions, but not the incident. And I know these reporters are sitting there watching the same things that I am, but they can't report it until they've got two verified sources and they've gone through certain channels and had an editor look at it, you know? So I can see how that news is not fitting in with a modern lifestyle.
That's the problem, I guess, is trying to get that modern balance with what we've learned from the past as well.
Have you seen there's I haven't checked them out yet, but a couple of podcasts that I listen to, speaking of ads, throw in ads for there's a couple of different sites now that are basically comparing news.
Oh, ground news.
Might be one of them, yeah. So they take the news, one particular story, and they'll show how it's been reported. I think it's targeted at Americans really, from the left and the right, and they kind of spin the spot on it, and then they will give you the facts in the middle, and then let you make up your own decision. That sounds quite cool. I haven't checked them out, but I think it would be really useful for people to have access to that stuff. Unfortunately, it's probably behind a paywall.
They do have a paywall on ground news.
Yeah.
I had the app installed for a bit. It kind of gives me hope that we might have a more balanced news future. And I am a person who does trust BBC News personally. Well, normally with every bit of news. So yeah, I've never really had that problem of figuring out what is truthful or not. What is truthful or not.
I have.
You have?
I really have. Yeah, and it's normally hindsight, right? So when you're looking back at things and trends and you realize that maybe you weren't getting the right news and you formed your opinion based on something that wasn't necessarily the way it is. Yeah, more so than ever in the last 10 years, for sure. I think I trusted mainstream news outlets blindly most of my life. You know, starting from my paper round as a 12-year-old, I used to read the paper every morning, every paper, because I hadn't. And I just believed that was, that was it. There was 5 papers, I read them all, and that was the news. So I grew up trusting it. And now that there are so many sources of information and ways to discover things, you start to realize that you've had this really opinionated, sponsored version of a limited amount of events that happen in the world.
I will say that I kind of swap between both Sky News and BBC News but
Yeah.
I do favor BBC News a bit more. So maybe I should think about if I'm being biased myself on that.
Yeah, maybe. What I would say is local news. So BBC local, our local news is brilliant, and I don't think you can beat local news.
Mm.
It's the national and the transnational, the global news that is really potentially tainted, I think.
Mm.
And that's because there's more at stake, right? There's more people involved. There's more people sponsoring that content or going to benefit from that content. When it comes to local news about your local parish and things like that, that news is, you can't beat that. The internet can't beat that stuff.
Mm. I mean, I guess that means listen to more local.
I didn't expect to be talking about this today, Mac.
Well, it's just interesting. I've been discussing this a lot with my family recently.
Yeah.
And I guess it's just been on my mind more. I had this whole, what is the area that you can get your news from? How do you know if it's balanced? And I guess it all comes from the fact of the UK, new UK laws on age rating.
Yes. Well, you will be, if you ever go to America and come back, you'll be thankful that you live here. Like, when you can watch news out there, you watch news, and I was watching a story the other day in America, and I had to point it out to my wife. What was it about? It was about some sort of a health scare in Florida. I can't remember exactly what it was. And then they cut to an advert, and 6 of the 10 adverts are about pharmaceutical companies who are obviously paying the channel to put the news on. So then you question, well, how can this news be balanced?
Yeah.
How can it be critical of any of these companies or any of the medications they might have on their lineup? So it's strange.
I'd like to at least watch American news once. I've seen clips of it and it's always seemed more drama focused or loud
Yeah,
and
definitely.
acting wise. So that's all I've got from those clips. So I'd actually like to sit down and watch some sort of American news to find out what it's fully like.
Yeah, when you watch it live, it's hilarious. It's just funny. But what's scary is we look at it and we know it's funny because it looks so obscure and strange to us that it can't be real. But they've grown up with that, and it must be real to them, because it's normal.
I would be interested to hear other people's opinions on this as well, if it's not just shouting at me.
I wonder if people actually care about the news and where the news comes from.
Yeah.
As long as it makes them happy, why would they care?
Actually, I think it's the opposite. As long as it makes them angry, why should they care?
Yeah. As long as it makes them feel included, I don't really think they care. Especially when most of the news we hear doesn't affect us. Until the news directly affects you, that's probably when you're more invested in, is this information right? Because it's going to have a direct impact on my family or myself or my job. But if it's something about something happening at the other end of the country or the other side of the world, I don't think we're that bothered.
So we're coming up now close to the Apple event again, which came out of nowhere. And ironically, we're always talking about Apple news, no matter what. I'm not sure if we should do anything for this Apple event. There's a few things that are supposed to be announced that I'm looking forward to. I am actually looking forward to a new Apple TV and a HomePod Mini because I was thinking about buying one and I've had to put that off because apparently there's a new one.
For that for a long time.
Yeah.
The HomePod Mini. I thought you meant the HomePod display.
No, HomePod Mini. The HomePod display's apparently been delayed until Siri's done. So probably indefinitely.
Yeah.
But instead of talking about the new iPhones and all the different versions we can get, because we're not really a news-focused show anymore, we're going to play a game, shall we say.
Oh, okay.
I want to know what our dream phones would be, right?
Okay.
And I think we should do bit by bit.
Okay, let's do it.
So if I said, okay, start off easy. Your dream phone, what OS would it have?
Symbian.
What? That wasn't the response I was expecting.
No, probably iOS. My dream my dream operating system would be iOS with the App Store from Android. So what's that? The Play Store.
Really?
Yeah, I want the Play Store. The Play Store is just so much more open.
You want the Play Store is the reason why I went back to iOS, because the apps are just not up to scratch. There's a lot more of them. They're just
Yeah.
not fun to play with, I'd argue.
However, if you had the Play Store and the App Store on the same device, that's the best OS. And I think a lot of iPhones can have that now, right? In main Europe, EU, sorry, you can have that.
Yes, yeah. I don't think they have the Play Store, which that kind of surprises me, actually.
Oh, really? I thought they had that access to any store they want.
They have these new stores on there, and they follow
Right.
some sort of regulation from Apple themselves. And I
Okay.
think they still have to have Swift script running on the apps as well,
Okay.
or something like that. So they couldn't just be Android apps running on an iPhone, even though that would be cool.
Yeah, that would be cool. How about you?
I'd also go iOS. Since swapping back, it's amazing to have. I should say that I am now daily driving 2 phones at once.
Really?
Yeah, ever since swapping to the iPhone 16e, I have kept my Android phone around, and I've been keeping all my distraction based apps like Instagram or Threads on that phone. And then I have this phone has all my work stuff on it, and YouTube. I still have to have YouTube, obviously.
I'm currently using iOS 26
Oh, you did it?
on an iPad.
Oh, okay. I had a nightmare last night that I woke up and my Mac had automatically updated to macOS 26 and none of my shortcuts worked and I couldn't get any work done.
This is hilarious that is your nightmare. You're not getting chased by a breathing dragon or anything. By a breathing dragon. My shortcuts.
Yeah, well, I can't work without them. But yeah, so I'd have iOS as my OS chosen for my phone.
Okay, cool. So we're both at iOS.
Both iOS. Cameras. What would you have?
Now I know you're going to say I would just want one camera. I know what you're going to say. Maybe even no camera on the front is where you would go. For me, I would
Damn
go
it.
for, and this is actually having just come from holiday, I would go for a wide camera on the front. The iOS camera, my iPhone camera is not wide enough, especially when you've got groups of people somewhere and you want to get a quick snap. So I'd have that on the front. We need 10 times zoom, optical zoom. We just need 2 cameras on the back, maybe a regular kind of portrait 24mm type camera and a 10 times zoom camera.
Okay. The normal thing that people would probably pick is that many cameras. And you are very much right with, on my side. I definitely don't want a camera on the front. And
Yeah.
As much as I would also like the option to not have a camera on the back, it is also useful to take photos of things sometimes. So yes, I'd definitely go for a camera on the back. But I'd go for the camera I've currently got because I was thoroughly impressed with the fact that it can still do that zoom in just by cropping in the sensor.
What is the default? What is the camera on there?
So the camera is a 48 megapixel and it halves it when it zooms in.
Oh, right. Okay. Cool.
Which I think is great. And I only really use my phone to take notes of things or actually usually take photos of vinyls and stuff that I want to buy in the future. So
yeah,
that's perfectly fine for me.
and that zoom is invaluable, isn't it? Especially moving about.
Mm.
You need a zoom nowadays. My wife's just gone from an iPhone 10R or 11 maybe up to a 15 Pro, and yeah, that zoom's changed her life. But she takes a lot more pictures now because she just can compose images better.
What size would you go for?
Okay, so going back to what my wife has got, she's got the 15 Pro and I've got the Pro Max. And now I'm seeing how diddy that phone is. I would have to stick with mine. I think the Pro Max is 6.9, potentially. Is it? So yeah, 6.9. No, do you know what? I'm changing my mind. I've been watching these new Fold phones, the new Samsung Fold.
Oh, no.
And I would love to have.
Oh, no.
If it didn't have a crease, I would love to have a nice big opening display because I do a lot of editing on my phone. I edit photographs a lot on my phone. and I'd appreciate a bigger screen for that and for YouTube. So I'm going for a 6.9 that opens up and doubles out to what's that, a 14-inch or I don't know, 11-inch screen.
According to some articles I've read, you're going to be getting your wish very soon.
Yes,
So,
but I don't want to. I don't want to spend £2,000 on it though.
okay, you're not getting your wish. For me, I still really like the size of the Mini or the iPhone 5S. I think I'd go.
It's too small.
I really do like that size a lot more. Even the phone that I've got already is too big, in my opinion.
Is that 6.3? Is it that phone?
No idea.
6.3 inch.
I think it's just the same size as the like the base iPhone.
Yeah, I think that's 6.3 inches.
But yeah, I'd definitely go back to like the same shell as the iPhone 5.
Really?
Yeah, with the screen being full screen.
Right. Okay. So your bezel lifts.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah, a lot of people would like that, especially people with smaller hands or people who wear clothes that they want a phone poking out of their jeans or whatever they're wearing.
I find my phone always falls out of my shorts. Every time.
Yeah.
I'm going to send you a link to perhaps the thing that started this conversation. I think this is a genius idea, but I don't think this will ever happen. It's a kind of a 3-in-1 concept. I think it's genius.
Okay.
I saw it come up on Yanko Designs. I think that's how you pronounce it. I followed it for a while. And it's pretty much this idea that you have this base phone.
Okay, yeah.
And you put it in larger shells if you want bigger battery, bigger storage, or bigger screen.
Yeah, I'm looking at it now. It looks cool. So it starts off by looking like an iPod Nano, right?
Which is probably the size I'd go for.
But when you when you put the Nano into the bigger screen, do you then have creases in your screen? No, you don't, because this is the whole new screen, isn't it? That's cool. I like that.
It's a cool concept, isn't it?
That is really cool. And so you can take, if you're going to a festival or something, you could take the tiny little one with you, the 3.3 inch.
Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, if you're going to work, maybe take the bigger one.
For me, I'd probably take like the small one around with me everywhere I go, and then when I get home, when I want to watch YouTube or consume media of some some type, I think that bigger phone would be better at that point. Because I'm not going to deny that the big phones are good at what they do. They're just most of the time not what I need.
I like the fact this concept has just got the iOS screen on it.
Yeah, that makes me laugh as well. Because if this existed, it wouldn't be iOS. It would be Android.
Exactly.
On to like the next one, the next topic. Oh, not next topic. The next area. How would you sign into your phone?
Now, Face ID is great on my phone. Yeah, I think I keep Face ID. I can't see where any other type of authentication works for me. How about you?
So I'm kind of shot myself in the foot because I said I wasn't going to have a camera on the front. But I actually don't mind Face ID. Security wise, it does bother me sometimes because it is literally scanning my face. But at the same time, it's been done on device. So I'm not really bothered by it that much. The thing I would prefer is to also have some sort of fingerprint ID, either the one that's from the iPad itself on the side or an under screen one. Or I have actually, because this is my dream phone, I can get away with this. But I did really like when I had the Google Pixel 3a, having the scanner on the back. It was more convenient. Just every time I picked up the phone, I was logged in.
What happened to that trend? Because a few phones had that for a couple of years, didn't they?
I think a lot of people didn't like the look of it. And as much as people don't like the look of the notch, cameras sell better than a fingerprint ID on the back.
I mean, Face ID is the way forward, and that's why people want it on a Mac. Touch ID is, you fumble around with it, don't you?
Yeah.
Touch ID was only better for payments. That was so much better when Apple Pay first came out and you could just hold it on the scanner with your thumb there. That was brilliant. You didn't have to look at it and then put it down. But, I mean, that's the only area. It's not worth it.
What would you have as your display?
Now, at the moment, we have... is it an OLED display right now?
It's OLED. I think the iPad Pro is micro LED.
Yes. Yeah, and we've got OLED in our. Yeah, I like it. 120 hertz is great. I would keep the display exactly how it is. Now I'm gonna guess you'd have like I have something that refreshes like a Kindle once every minute, and it's black and
Rude.
white until I need it color.
Very rude.
Okay, well, tell me what you've got.
No, I'd go for a higher refresh rate. It's my biggest gripe with my current phone. I didn't
Is it
like
like 120?
it's so low. It's 60. It drives me mad.
Oh, really?
I didn't
How
notice
did they
this. Like
do that?
most people, when reviewing this, said, "Oh, it's a low refresh rate. It's going to bother you," and it didn't bother me.
Mm.
I didn't think it would bother me, but then every time I look back at my Nothing phone, which is a much higher refresh rate of I think 120, 144 maybe, and it feels so much better to swipe on that thing compared to my phone currently. So that I definitely have a higher refresh rate, and I would also probably because again, Dream Phone micro LED.
Micro LED. I was actually listening. There's a television company, I think they're Japanese, who are aiming to make micro LED televisions more affordable, and they're bringing out a range of massive TVs, but they're making them really cheap because OLED is just not good enough, basically. And they're saying the micro LED is going to be the one that takes over and actually takes the market away from LCD or
How
LED.
on earth are they doing that financially?
I don't know. I'll send you a link to it. It's interesting. They've got a 160-inch screen. That's their biggest screen at the moment, and they're selling it for like less than an LG OLED of smaller size. Crazy.
Okay, storage. How much would you have on a phone?
So ideally, for me, it's got to be 512. Now, the reason I wouldn't go to 1 or 2,
512.
yeah, too small.
Too high.
Okay. Oh, I thought you'd say bigger. The reason I wouldn't go bigger is because we need to back everything up, and I'm not paying for massive iCloud or any other service backup. And I think we should just be able to start getting better. Or the phone should be better at managing duplicates and things we don't need and not bothering us about it and just getting it done. There should be an option on iOS where you can say, trust me to manage my data, like things I don't want.
That's a great
It
idea.
knows everything I'm interested in. It knows every photo I'm going to look at again, or the people I like looking at on photos. Do you know what? You haven't looked at this for 2 years and it's of a person you never contact. I'm deleting that, you know?
Yeah.
I think we should have that sort of a system.
Okay. So across my phone, like my iPhone 16e, my Nothing Phone 1, and my iPad, I've only just hit 64 gigabytes.
Really?
So
Are you
I'm
talking about backup or actual on device?
actual on device.
Okay.
So across all of those, like adding them all together. So I'm not a big data user. Admittedly, most of my storage is actually taken up by podcast itself or music, but I tend to delete that almost immediately. So I never have my
Yeah.
phone really backed up with that much. That being said, I'd probably go for, was it 128?
Yeah.
Which I think is now the minimum of a phone, just to give myself a bit of leeway if I could.
Yeah, sometimes you get a bigger project that you're going to edit and then take off or, whatever. So you think we're there with phones? You think the storage is there now, like as we are?
Yeah. But again, I don't think I'm a good example because I'm not a big phone user. Now, battery capacity. We've got that new technology that allows us to have, was it solid state batteries? Those really thin ones that are going to be in the iPhone Air.
Yes. Yeah, I did read about that.
How much power do you need? We'll do it in like how many hours actually. Instead of doing power, we'll do it in how many hours do you think your phone needs?
I think my phone needs a day of power and a day of exactly what it's got now. I don't know what milliamp battery I've got in this iPhone I've got now, but that's perfect. A day of heavy use is enough.
I would say 2 days maybe for me, even though
Yeah.
right now, I bought this, one of those Apple MagSafe dock things, which has costed me a fortune, but it's great.
Jesus, they've got you. They've
Yeah,
really
I know
got you.
they've really got me. And my phone does not really drop below 100%, which really scares me for how the battery is going to cope with that.
Yeah, because it's constantly attached to it, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I would go for a high amount for those rare times that I'm going to not need to plug my phone in. But I already tested with this one with my active use, and it lasted me 4 days without charging it.
Oh, wow.
And even then, I was still on about 24%, and I just thought, screw it, I'll put it on charge.
How bulky does the phone feel, though, and heavy?
Not very. Well, I put a D-brand case on it, which has made it way bigger. Another system I'm stuck in.
With fast charging, I don't think it's that much of an inconvenience. I really don't. I can plug my phone in. I was down to 15% the other day in the car. I put it on. I don't even think it's fast charging in my car. It might be like 20 watts or something. Came back to the car after going to the shop, and I was at 45%, and that will last me the rest of the day.
We're surrounded by different ways to charge.
Yeah, you are. You're not going in places where there aren't chargers, especially now we've got USB-C. That's everywhere.
Okay.
It's safe. You could run into a convenience store and say, look, can I just quickly charge my phone for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
You can do it. It's fine.
So ports, I guess. What would you have on your phone for ports?
If I could get dual USB-C and then also a headphone jack and also... and also, what was I going to say? No, I don't think I'd want a SIM. Get rid of the SIM. I like eSIMs. So dual USB-C and a headphone jack for me.
I don't know how you can do this, but MagSafe has got to be something I have on this phone. I don't know if it counts as a port, actually, but MagSafe's got to be there.
So MagSafe power.
Yeah. I definitely have a Type-C port. I definitely have a headphone port. I agree. Don't really need a SIM card. An eSIM's perfectly fine. I am tempted to put an SD card reader on it, or like a micro SD card reader, for those rare times that I want to get photos off of my camera.
Yeah.
So it can be useful. I can't say that I've ever actually used one myself on a phone. I've never owned a phone that can do it.
I mean, you can always use an adapter, right? Potentially iPad would benefit from that a lot more, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I've never been a fan of foldable displays, but I do kind of like... I've been staring at my phone and just realizing it looks like an iPad mini recently. It's got the same kind of camera look. So maybe I should have gone for a foldable display. I don't know. Still don't like the look of it.
You'll get one. You're in the Apple ecosystem. I'm sure you'll get one as soon as they come out.
No, I don't think so.
You'll find a reason. They'll put like some sort of amazing camera on it or something that you really have to have.
I'll go and look at it, definitely. But I can't imagine myself owning a foldable display of any sort. In the future, I can cut back to this and laugh at myself, I guess. So I think that's everything that makes it a phone.
Yeah. And I don't think we're a million miles away from where we are now, especially your phone. It sounds a lot like your phone you've got now.
It does sound a lot like my phone right now.
Apart from the screen and the ports.
Yeah. And the fact it doesn't have MagSafe. I had to get a case for that. That's insane.
Going back to the Apple event, there are some interesting things that potentially are coming that I'm looking forward to. I really, really hope that this A18 Mac comes, because people are speculating that price is going to be $550 with student discount.
I've seen so many articles on it, especially yesterday and today, saying it's going to be like £500 to £600, which is insane.
Listen, that's insane.
Yeah.
$550 with a student discount is insane. Every education establishment will be buying those. You know, for 90% of the tasks you need to do, that Mac would be perfect. My kids are both getting one if that happens. Yeah.
It might be the cheapest Mac they've ever made. I think.
Yeah, it is for sure. There's no question.
So it's going to be interesting when that comes out. I'm not sure about how they're going to market it. I personally, to me, it feels like that should be the Air, not the Mac, or the MacBook. But we'll see. See how it fits in.
I think there's one thing people are missing. They might put the price up for the Air.
Yeah, they probably will, won't they? That's a shame.
Yeah.
My mum just bought an Air.
Really?
Yeah.
They just dropped the price right to £800.
Don't tell her that.
Really, for the base model, I think it's 3 days ago, it just dropped down to £800 until September the 12th or something like that.
I can't tell my mum that. She just bought the M4 Air 15-inch, I think.
Okay, yeah. Okay, cool. It's got a bigger one.
Which is making me feel a bit sad because I'm now the only person in the family who has the smallest display.
Oh, got display envy.
Yeah.
I must say, I just DJ'd this weekend, having been really jet lagged. I had jet lag for a long time. So blurry eyed, got in there and had to increase the text size on my screen because I just couldn't really see the screen properly. And then all of a sudden, I could only see like half the music that I could before, and I really, really wanted a display in that moment.
My least favorite thing about my own display isn't actually the size, it's actually how bright it is. It's so dull compared to all the other Macs I see.
Yeah. Well, you got a Pro though, right?
Yeah, I got a Pro, M2 Pro. The M4 display is so much brighter, even on the Airs.
Wow, that's interesting.
Right, I've got nothing else to talk about. Actually, no, before I do wrap it up in any sort of way, should we do, because we've already planned to do an episode to celebrate the Wonky rebrand, which no one should know about yet. Or wow,
Yeah.
people know about, but we won't know when the launch is.
Yeah.
But we're going to have to do an episode for the Apple event as well.
Yeah.
So
Have we got a date for that yet? Is it September the 9th or something like that?
yeah, that
No
will
one
be
really knows, do they?
that'll be just before. So I think what we should do is probably tape the episode that we'll release on Wonky Day before, and then we can do that episode, and then we can release that episode after.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
Because if we record one earlier, then that means we won't have a lot of pressure on us later.
Yeah, I'm with that. Cool. Give me the dates, and normally Tuesdays are good for me. Tuesday nights are great because Wednesday nights we do Where the Keys At.
Well, can I convince you on a certain platform called Notion?
Send me what I need to know, and I will check it out. Yeah, that's cool.
One time.
One time, for sure. At least.
Ah, cool.